I'm an innocent man.
They all say that.
No, I am. I'm an innocent man. I'm a handsome, well-built, innocent man. Hey, you wacky Bible heads. Welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I'm reading the Bible, so yous don't gots to. That's not the line. It's so that you don't have to. But I was just being silly. Yeah, this is the 10th episode in a row that I'm wearing the same sweater. Is that so wrong? Yeah, I read a lot of these chapters in one night. Is that so wrong? Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm ready to go to bed. Yeah, maybe I'm too tired to be doing this. But luckily this chapter is really, really short. So maybe it's fine. Anyway, I'm awake. If you've been following along, we are still in Genesis, and it's taking a while. But anyway, we're here having a fun time because there's some good story happening here. There's some good Hebrew folk tales. Joseph is finding favor with God. He finds too much favor. Can we just say that? Joseph finds a little too much favor. He's so dang hot. God has made him too dang hot. That just made Potiphar's wife want him so badly that it resulted in him going to jail. Now, I don't need that much favor, God. Just make me a little bit less attractive, please. You know what I mean? And as I said last episode, I know what he means, I know how he feels. This is chapter 40. He's in jail. He's running the jail at this point, so it's not even that big of a deal that he's in there. And do me a favor. Subscribe, do me a favor, like the video to get it out into the algorithm. And if you find anything worth commenting on, shove a comment down there. I love having conversations. Genesis chapter 40, verse 1. And by the way, every chapter I start with verse 1. I just want to make that clear. I don't know if I've ever said that in another video. I always start with verse 1. This is a short chapter, so I'm shoving some filler in there. Okay. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. I love the redundancy. I love it. I'm getting so used to it. It's now like I expect it. If it wasn't there, I'd be like, where's all the redundancy? I need them to mention who was the master? Who was the one that they offended? Their master was what? Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. Okay, thanks for reminding me. And put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined, the prison he ran. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, yeah, we get it, who were being held in the prison, yes, we know. Who was it again? Okay, thank you. This is written for kids, right? This is a kid's story. I mean, I know that a couple chapters ago there was some sort of father-in-law banging a daughter-in-law thing, but this is for kids, right? I think this is a kid's story. There's going to be a lot of simpletons reading this book and believing it. So it's got to be pretty easy to understand. Just repeat who it was again. The cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who are being held in that prison. Yeah, write it again just so that I just have a feeling they're not going to realize who we're talking about. Anyway, those two guys had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody. Oh, is that where they were? Yeah. They were in the jail. Who? Did you? Oh, you weren't paying attention? No, it was the, let's see here. Who was it again? Oh yeah, the cupbearer and the baker. Oh yeah? Who did they work for? Oh, the king of Egypt, who's the Pharaoh. They offended their master. Who was the king of Egypt, by the way? The Pharaoh. Okay, good to know. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, where were they? They're in prison. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that. They were in prison. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, "Why are your faces so sad today?" "We both had dreams," they answered in unison. simultaneously, but there is no one to interpret them. It's amazing. It's amazing that in those days, this happened a lot. I mean, the whole town of Sodom said, send them out so we can have sex with them. Like, all in unison. It's just wild that happens. I mean, it doesn't explicitly say that here, but I think it implies it. Then Joseph said to them, do not interpretations belong to God? This is the first I've heard that interpretations belong to God. Does that apply today? I bet you any money there are Christian scammers out there who pretend that they can tell you what your dream means like Joseph did. I bet you any money. I'm going to Google it once I'm done here. You can Google it too. I bet you're going to find some real swindlers. Maybe one of them's name is Charles, but he goes by Chuck Swindler. So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream. He said to him, in my dream, I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clustered ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand. And Pharaoh said, did you wash your hands? Sorry, I just didn't see you wash your hands, but you did. You were kind of mauling the grapes there. So I just didn't see you. I just was wondering. Well, you can just answer. Did you wash? It's a yes or no. Did you wash your hands? You know what? You've offended me again. Go back to jail. And then he ended up in jail in the dream. This is what it means, Joseph said to him. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position. And you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me the hell out of this prison. It just says, get me out of this prison. For I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent man. They all say that. No, I am. I'm an innocent man. I'm a handsome, well-built, innocent man, and I don't deserve this. I didn't even deserve to be sold into slavery because my dad, he basically loves me more than everyone else. So what am I doing here? I'm an innocent man. I want to apologize for all that, the dramatic acting I just did there. I feel like I was a little bit over the top and kind of just plain silly, and I'm embarrassed. So if you'll forgive me, just put in the comments that I need engagement. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph, I too had a dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. Now, I don't know if 3 is a popular number in the Bible or if God likes it. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head. This is what it means, Joseph said instantly. He just knew. God probably told him, because as we know, interpretations belong to God. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head and hang you on a tree. Don't shoot the messenger. And the birds will eat away your flesh. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm sorry. I do the interpretations, but I'm not the one who makes up what the thing is. It's not like I'm making that happen. I just was able to pay attention to what you said, and then I'm just and I'm not even supposed to be here. Why am I getting in trouble for? Now, the 3rd day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker in the presence of his officials. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position so that he once again put the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, just as Joseph had said to them in his interpretation. The chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph. Guess what? He forgot him. some more redundancy, but it's actually driving it home, driving the point home. He forgot him. Joseph is one of the best characters so far. He's an innocent victim. I like that because he hasn't really done anything wrong. Yeah, he was a little arrogant. He had some dreams, but it's not his fault. Like he doesn't choose his dreams. Those dreams just come to him. And then next thing you know, his brothers, who are way too sensitive and way too picky and mean, sell him into slavery. I mean, they're pricks, right? They're pieces of garbage. And he's doing everything he can to be a good employee / slave. I like Joseph, and I'm rooting for him. I usually am not rooting for the heroes of this story, but Joseph isn't really pulling a lot of punches. But maybe in the next episode, Joseph will get out of prison. I also wanted to bring attention to the idea that God really is starting to retreat. And I have this theory that I might as well mention here, and it's something to keep an eye on. The closer we get to modern day, the less and less we see God. The lesser and lesser we're going to see miracle type stuff until we're here now and there's absolutely no evidence and it doesn't seem like God has any power. Nothing ever happens. When people write these things and tell these stories, you can get away with whatever you want. But as we get closer to a modern age, people will start going, yeah, but why isn't that happening now? Oh, well, you couldn't write a newspaper article about yesterday when God showed himself, because everyone would be like, oh, let's see if that's true. But that's just a theory because, I may be way wrong, and we may come up to where we're actually, people are living and writing the stories, and they still have fantastical tales. But anyway, listen, guys, thanks for joining me. Sorry for that little rant, but hey, look, a lot of people have probably already stopped watching. So, all right, have a beautiful rest of your week or whatever this is, or month, or maybe even your year, and I'll be there for you.